That nipple goes in one of these holes. Hello people of today, welcome to my life. Today I'm going to be working on my Graham's 1994 Ford Ranger 4x4 that I am restoring. Up above is a link to why my eyebrow itches. Getting off to a great afternoon today because I spent the morning cleaning the shop. It smells like fabuloso in here. That's like a good height right there. In the last video, if you recall, I was trying to decide whether or not I was going to rebuild these factory automatic 4x4 hubs on the Ranger. You can see the inside of them it looks like inside of an alien. It's Invasion. That's the name of the show I was trying to think of. The inside of the mouth of the alien creatures. Anyway, this right here, Warren. Manual lock-in hubs. This is not sponsored at all. I purchased these. It makes more sense to use a hub that actually works, and it coincides with what I'm doing on the build of this truck anyway. It's a subtle upgrade. And another thing I want to show you, this is the center cap on the rear wheel. And if you look, it looks just like the Warren. It's got the black with the white in the center, so it'll match better than factory. Before I can get going with this stuff though, I have some cleaning to do because you know me. Obviously I gotta clean something in this video. What sense would it make for me to stick these locking hubs on there without doing the diff and the axles? And this thing is nasty. I did use the soda blaster on this side, but I ran out of soda. And this side is just mud. Also, in this nasty corner of parts from the junkyard truck are my axles. Those are gross. I didn't get these things powder coated, unfortunately, just because they just looked a little too complex to try to get these powder coated. I don't know why. And also, something I think some of you are gonna find highly satisfying, I assembled something. Meet my new wash cart. I put my pressure washer, my water softener, and the hose, and there's a tray up here for detailing products. So now when I go to wash stuff, it's got rubber wheels, I can pull it outside. Yeah, wash cart. Today's scrubbing is brought to you by Mukbang, where I stuff my face full of rice and beans and veggies. I don't know what was all over that combination of grease and dirt, but it barely comes off with a wire brush. Pressure washer doesn't even touch it. I got it like 98% clean though. I'd say it looks pretty good now. The axles, I tried my best. I used every chemical I could. That was oven cleaner right there. You know what that means I have to do, right? I got another bag of baking soda. Yeah, you bang that. Bang it good. There, they look like some kind of medieval Q-tip that you probably wouldn't want to stick in your ear. Goodbye, cleanliness. Cue the blasted music. I did absolutely nothing. I guess I reached the limitations of the soda blaster. But it's okay. I got a solution. The soda blaster really is just for minor stuff because there's no change. But this is rust and I have a fix for that. Da-da-da! Smashed can of 5 raw. I shall coat them in the same stuff that the frame is coated in. That way I have a guaranteed match. Hopefully the stuff didn't expire, because Well, it fucking looks expired. One slight problem. These are the only 2 paintbrushes I have left in my shop. Hopefully these are dry so I can start destroying them since I gotta do the U-joint still. That was ass backwards. So I have a Charlie here with me today. He's gonna help out with the gears because he has lots of experience doing gears and gear sets and rear ends and front ends and anything that has shapes and teeth to it. So you're gonna show me how to set the backlash on the gears. I know in theory, because technically we had pumpkins on our bomb lifts, an age that we had to do, but I never ended up having to do one before, ever. So,
because they probably don't get many miles on them.
Oh, bomb lifts get some abuse. The crew chiefs beat the shit out of them.
Do they?
Yes. It would have made more sense if I would have did this before I painted these last night. But in my head, I was like, well, I'll do that after. That way I don't have to mask off the U-joints. Now, instead, I get to smack on the axle shafts and screw up the fresh paint job I did. That's logical. Come out, clip. I only slightly screwed up the POR that I put on there. It's okay, I'll do a touch up once I put it back on the truck. Just scuff the edges a little bit, you'll never even know it happened. I've been trying to talk Charlie into doing a how stuff works type of YouTube channel, explaining how mechanical stuff works, because that's literally what he's doing, teaching for university right now. Courses for up and coming technicians in like heavy equipment repair and field service and stuff. So I think it'd be a good idea. I'm gonna have him kind of just explain the most difficult part about this is the crush sleeve and setting the backlash on it, because that's the part that would be most likely to screw up when doing this job.
So I'm gonna lube up the bearing on the pinion with just a little bit of this, just so it's not dry. And then this is the crush sleeve. This is what actually sets the bearing preload when you put this on. So every time you take a differential apart, you have to get a new one of these. So when you put these on the pinion yoke, right, you got to put some silicone inside these splines. Otherwise, fluid will literally leak up the root of the spline and come out underneath the nut.
So the fluid will leak out and come out underneath the nut?
Yes.
Nothing? Charlie is not one for the innuendos on camera. I don't understand. He's like shy on camera versus in person. Why is this something that people screw up a lot?
Because these tapered roller bearings, they look just like this. There's two of them that face each other. They have to have preload on the bearings. If the bearings don't have the correct preload, if there's too much slop or if there's way too much preload, you'll have premature bearing failure. So this is a torque wrench. It goes 0 to 150 inch-pounds.
Real fucking quick.
A dial, just a dial type. And here's what I'm going to be using to check the actual bearing preload. Put it on the pinion and turn it and see what it goes to. Right now there's like no preload. It doesn't even read anything, so I got to keep going tighter. All right, and we're right at 21 inch-pounds. You can see where it moved the needle to.
So the backlash is basically the tolerance between the teeth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Charlie, I got some tolerance between my teeth right now. I got some Dorito stuck in between them. Charlie's gonna explain the backlash part real quick.
So backlash is the space between the gear teeth. This is gonna be exaggerated, but there's always gonna be space between the gear teeth. If there wasn't, if you had them jammed together, when the differential heats up under use, there would be nowhere for the metal to expand, and it would bind and ruin all the gears. So you're always gonna have that little bit of gap, which is what they call backlash in the gear set. This diff was already together. This is the one that came out of the Ranger from New Mexico. It's got 373s and it had very little backlash, which means it has very little wear. So we're just gonna reuse these front gears. I kept the shims on the correct side where they go. So when we put this together, it should be exactly as it was from the factory. We're just double checking to make sure I didn't get the shims mixed up.
Since these gears already came out of the donor truck, the backlash should be fairly close and this all go back together. I'm trying to hold in a burp right now and it's really difficult.
This is gonna be fun because it's an aluminum diff.
It's really hard without that being magnetic.
I'm gonna call that 6.
The range is 5 to 8 thousandths, so it's literally dead on. So we don't have to do anything.
Well, we're gonna paint the teeth and we're gonna check the pattern to make sure that the pattern is good.
Charlie's wiping mustard on the gears.
When you rotate this around now, the gear will smush the marking compound out of the way where the gear actually touches, and then you can rotate it back around and you can physically see where the two gears are meshing together and make sure that it's not too far out on the root or the toe of the gear.
That marking compound looks pretty on camera. It's a nice color. Very 70s fall vibes.
So you can see where the gear is riding in the tooth, and it's right about in the middle. The closer you can get it, I don't know, 2/3 of the tooth, the closer you can get it to here, the stronger it is. The teeth are always stronger at this end. So that pattern looks good. You always look at both sides.
And you can just leave that compound on there, right?
Yeah, it just dissolves into the gear oil.
So Charlie explained how it works. Let him know how he did and if you think he has a future in educating minds on the YouTube. I'm gonna get back to work now. This is why Sarah needs a workbench. Should I put some tape on this or you got it?
Okay.
Got it? Got one started. Having Charlie here to help out earlier today was amazing because trying to do everything myself all the time is really getting old. So now I can get back to business with what this video started as and get this thing on the ground. Hubs. Okay, so this nut right here is no longer needed. I have special ones that came in this kit because special nuts are the best kind of nuts. So this ring right here that has a little nipple on the front of it is going to go on first. I'll set that guy right here against the bearing. I gotta set the preload on the bearing. Hammer. Just tap it in. That is set. Okay, now tighten it till it's snug. The reason why nipples are important is because sometimes nipples go into holes, and that's the case of this situation. That nipple goes in one of these holes, and then the key goes in the door. That, and this other guy just locks it all together. That's pretty tight. Stick this clip into the Emperor's new groove. That's it. That's good right there. Yeah, look at that. Lock, free. Lock, free. Yay! I gotta stick a lug nut on there so I don't lose it, but yay! This video is gonna be a bit of a long one, but it's important because I got one last thing to do. I was waiting on one last part to make this thing a roller, and I wanted to do that in this video. Inside this box right here. Oh, it's a box in a box. Stick. I kind of wanted to have these powder coated to match the tie rod ends, but I actually like the look of this. So many threads. It's got a ways to go. There we go, just like that. There, that should keep the front morning from going all cross-eyed on me while I'm pushing it around the shop. I express shipped the steering box. It was supposed to be here last night, but the FedEx tracking number says delayed. So much for that happening. But it doesn't matter. As long as I can wheel this thing around in here, that's all that mattered. Put my fresh Steely from the junkyard on. Oh, it doesn't fit. The Steely doesn't fit over the hub. No. This right here is a super performance custom wheel. It's specially made just for this truck. I would have filmed this, but I just needed to get it done. Good enough to roll around on. Aha! I think it's the first time this spare's been taken out. Look at this! It still has the orange stickers from the factory on here. This thing is bad though. This would never get put back on a vehicle. Oh my god, this is so heavy! Why? If you're wondering where the brake caliper is at, I'm not putting the calipers on because I don't have any brake lines. I'm gonna do that last because I still have to do the drums and rebuild the rear diff. I just need to be able to move this thing, like I said. Yeah, 2 lug nuts. That's all I need. Well, this thing definitely needs an alignment, that's for sure. Look at that. That's crazy. Question is, does it? Oh yeah. It rolls so easy now. This thing was a pain to roll before. Hell yeah. Now I can move it out of the way when I need to use this lift. I think, well, this is comfy. I don't think this is where I would sit though. I think I should sit over here. Ta-da! I did it, I'm done. I built the rolling chassis. It's ready for me to start swapping over the powertrain, which is the next video I'm gonna do on this thing. And then all the green bits. And then the Ranger restoration will be done. I kind of want to call it a restoration because let's be honest, that's the whole reason why I'm doing this shit. Now that I got this done, while I'm not working on it, it'll be really easy to put a vehicle on this lift and roll the frame underneath it for storage. So it's good that I can do that now. Yeah? See, I had a plan all along why I wanted to do this. Anyway, the next video I do, I might do a video on the Bronco or maybe on the UR Quattro. And then I'll get back on this because I gotta get some stuff taken care of on the bed with corrosion repair underneath it, and I'm waiting on the booth. So there's gonna be a little delay, maybe a week or so. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!